Hi, everyone. Um, my name's Mary Blatherwick, and I'm adding a video to our site dealing with what you can do right now in terms of creativity, things that you can do at home, really all ages, and something that you might enjoy, um, a way to do something with the amount of time that we have on our hands at this time. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit about creativity. I teach some courses in that, and also am a painter and do other kinds of art forms as well. But and work with a lot of students of all ages in terms of making art. Some of the things that I think about are having my students think in new ways. We think we only think one way, but we actually have a number of different ways that we think. And one of them is divergent thinking, which is where you come up with a lot of different ideas. And right now, I think that the situation we're in is making us think of a lot of different ideas and how we can spend our time and how we can do productive things. So using divergent thinking is a really good idea, which means that you maybe take an object and find a whole bunch of different uses for it that you may never have thought of before. Those kinds of activities are really fun. It may be something like you find something, maybe you find a cup at home, a styrofoam cup, and you turn it into a whole bunch of different things. Just even thinking about what you could do with an object gets our mind thinking in a different way and opens it up. The other thing that I do a lot with my students is work with different senses. So not just using sight, but also having them listen carefully at things, to music and so on, um, and also touching different objects and just getting really aware of the things around us. And I think that maybe this kind of time where we have a chance to think about that really might be something to focus on as well. So if you do go out for a walk, really take a look at the things around you and take a moment and study how they're put together and so on. It's pretty interesting, and it's also good for us to focus on things in our environment and use our senses more than we might be using them um, up until this point. Anyway, and the third thing that I talk a lot about with my students is using different forms of communication and blending those together. So, for instance, we have 5 different modes of communication: numbers, letters, sound, movement, and image. And when we take some of those things and combine them, we get really interesting and very creative results. So just thinking about those 3 things can be really helpful. So just in terms of an activity, the one I wanted to share with people is the idea of keeping a visual journal right now. So journaling means kind of following along the days and the kinds of things that you're doing. Maybe it doesn't happen every day. Maybe you work on one for, a few days and so on. But a visual journal is a great way of getting your ideas down on paper, and also using lots of different materials. So in that way, you'd be using again, thinking about communication, you'd be using words as well as images. You might write some poems in there. You might also just use just words that come to mind as the days go on, and include photographs, and maybe you are looking at the newspaper and see some comics that you really enjoy. Anything at all that you want to include makes it really exciting and interesting for people to look at and for you to enjoy putting together. Maybe you're someone who has done a lot of scrapbooking in the past, so you might have a lot of materials lying around your house that you can use. If not, there's certainly the old photographs if you've got some magazines. Also, you could do photo journaling online if you have access to a computer and to a lot of photographs and things on your computer. So, really putting your thoughts down, thinking about how you're going through the day, the kinds of things you find really positive and uplifting. I think it's really great to focus on those kinds of things, new discoveries that you make. Even listing ideas, like just things that you find really exciting. So that's my idea is to just think about doing something with journaling. If you don't happen to have a scrapbook at home, maybe someone could pick one up for you at a grocery store. Sometimes they sell books and things like that. And also you can just take some blank paper and staple it together and make your own visual journal. It doesn't have to be anything very elaborate. It's just getting it down and combining some different ideas together and really thinking about what you want to express. Here's an example of where I'm working at the moment. And just a book at the back, just an old blank book I had. And I've got lots of things around me, some cartoons and glue and colored pencils and old photographs and things that I'll be gluing into this particular book that I'm creating. And writing down random thoughts and ideas as the days go on. So hopefully that's something that you might want to use um, during this time and also in the future. Thank you. Take care.